It all started from a small village town to a girl conquering the whole of Kenya. From humble beginnings and a supportive family with her father by her side, no matter what.
There was a time I was in church and I was wearing a very short dress, not just about the name. There was this and holier than thou woman who told me like, that dress is too short, you're not supposed to wear that in church. I went to my dad and I was feeling bad and my dad told me, no, don't go to that church. He didn't want that environment for me. So I'd say he's my hero, my role model.
Mueni then went on her adventures to chase her dreams. She did whatever she had to do, working 2 jobs at one point with an eye for business, marketing and sales.
I worked at a strip club as a salesperson. Being a good storyteller makes you a good marketer because you have to explain a product, make people love it, make people stop and listen. Because by the time you're selling something, you have to own it, know it, understand the merits and merits about that product. I want a personal relationship with my clients.
I obsess over my customers' problems so bad.
Yes.
Guess what? They obsess to pay me.
I'm a business person. I'm a salesperson. I need more followers. Every like counts. Every follow counts.
Mueni always knew she'd be here, and this is the story. This is how she got there. You'll hear things you have never heard before.
What's the vision for Bespoke?
I want to be an all-round apparel company.
Bolo Media, TV shows coming out.
I want Bespoke to be the biggest apparel company in Kenya and beyond.
What will Mueni Bespoke's legacy be?
It will be the biggest of all time.
Welcome to the Rubasha Family podcast, where you hear the stories of politicians, CEOs, celebrities who are all making a mark in their legacy, in their business to conquer the world. Welcome to our CEO Mentor series with the one and only Mueni Bespoke.
Welcome to the Rubasha Family podcast. We're here in Nairobi, Kenya, at the headquarters of Bespoke Exclusives.
Yes.
Here we are. So we have a very special guest. And when I looked into your story, not only did I see a mother, I saw an entrepreneur, but I saw someone who's had a vision, and she doesn't stop to get what she wants.
Yeah.
She has a vision, she goes for it.
Yeah.
She knows who she is. And they always say behind every great man is a wonderful and powerful woman. So I'm so glad to have you here today, and welcome.
I'm glad to have you too. Never featured in one of these podcasts from the UK. So I'm glad to be talking to my clients in the UK, in the US. I know they watch it in Australia, in Germany. So I'm glad to have you around here. Yeah, I can't wait to entertain them. So what are we talking about today?
I want to go back to your story. I want to go back to that little girl. Tell me a little about where you're from and that little girl.
I am from Machakos, Masi, a place called Vulia, but I grew up in a place called Mchito Ande. That is along Mombasa Road on your way to Mombasa. So that's where I grew up. My childhood was basically in Mchito Ande. I was a very outspoken baby. I used to be at the forefront of everything. Leader for every group in church. I was a head girl ever since I joined school, primary school, secondary school, campus. I was a secretary general. So it's been always leadership for me as a small baby. And I didn't have much of friends because they used to view me as someone who used to, competition. Okay. So I didn't have much of friends and I was bullied a lot as a baby because I had very big eyes. So they used to bully me a lot. So I grew up as a strong loner. And it really brought my confidence to action because I didn't take into the bullying and to the negativity and lack of many friends. My father used to be a strong pillar for me. He used to tell me, if someone insults you, tell them, let's meet at the book. I was really bright, extremely bright. So let's meet on an exam. Let's meet at the books. Like, he knew that I was smarter. So that's the only way I could get back to them. And for sure, I got back to them. Yeah.
How many brothers and sisters?
I'm the firstborn.
Firstborn?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have 2 brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about mom.
My mom is an ex-soldier. So she's a very tough one. She brought me up in a military way. When you go wrong, she used to spank us a lot. And my mom, again, was innovative. Like, my dad was direct and controlling, but my mom was innovative. My mom was the person who used to bring in new everything in the family. When something is, we need to tackle this in another perspective, that was my mom. So my mom is an innovative woman, yet very military in everything that she does. Yes.
Do you feel like what traits have you taken from your parents?
I take a lot after my dad. My dad is outgoing, very courageous, extremely confident. My dad does not believe in no's. So he's always a yes man. You have to say yes, whatever it takes, how long it takes, whatever time, whatever place, whatever amount. That's my dad. So I take mostly after my dad. In height and in body, I take after my mom. So appearance basically is my mom, but my skin tone is my dad. But in character, I'm 100% my dad.
Your dad?
Yes.
So it's interesting, like, when you tell me these things, because as I said, from what I've seen, so what we do, we're a social media marketing company.
Yes.
So we help businesses, CEOs market themselves. One thing I noticed about you, just by looking at socials, she knows how to market herself. She knows how to speak. And one thing about marketing is capturing attention. You need to capture people's attention. Even if you make them mad, sometimes that's even a good thing.
Yeah.
So one thing I've seen in you is that ability not only to be confident, but to know how to market. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're running business. So my question to you is, let's go back to that childhood a little bit. How much of also who you are has come from maybe trying to prove people wrong, or you had to fight bullies, right? So you didn't take anything. You didn't take no nonsense.
Yeah.
So can you talk to us a little bit about, has that played a role in you throughout your whole life?
Yeah. I had to explain a lot why. Like, people used to say I have big eyes, babies, but adults used to say I have beautiful eyes. So I had to keep explaining to people that the adults say that I have beautiful eyes. So I had to keep explaining the beauty of my eyes. Again, when I was growing up, I had a body. I was not tiny. I was not petite. I had a body. So explaining again that it's family. My dad has a body, my mom has a body. It was something that I had to keep explaining every time. So I had a lot of stories to tell so that I could fit in. That's what I'm telling you, I didn't have much of friends. So every time I had to give a story about why this is like this.
A story.
Yes, a story that why do I have big eyes? Okay, well, how is it that I have big eyes? What are other people saying about my eyes? You babies are saying I have big eyes, but big people, adults, are saying I have beautiful eyes. Then I have to explain, like, why am I taller? Yeah, why am I a little bit plump? Okay, so there had to be a lot of explaining in my life. It was not a smooth transition. So it taught me how to be a good storyteller. Being a good storyteller makes you a good marketer, because you have to explain a product, make people love it, make people stop and listen. Okay. Again, another thing for my childhood, I used to sing a lot in church, and every time that I didn't sing, the pastor would always go to the church and like, Mueni, today you're not singing, because I used to write in a small paper like, Mueni, I want to sing today. Give me a chance. So every time I send that paper, the pastor always expected it. So it comes to a Sunday that I'm not singing, he would always speak it up on the mic, like, Mueni, you're not singing. So the courage and the confidence came in from when I was around 3 years. I used to sing. Take a mic, sing a full song, go back, sing, everybody claps. So it built my confidence a lot on stage management, talking to people, being in front of people and not caring, and being confident and people applauding me. So I really learned to manage my crowd at a very tender age.
At a young age.
Yes.
And before we move on through your life, a bit with your father, you know, I think a woman, that relationship with your dad is everything. You know, your dad's the first hero. That's who you look up to. Can you talk to us a little bit about that bond? And I can see the way you speak about him. I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah.
So can you talk to us a little bit about, and how did he, like you said, he did give you advice, but how has that voice throughout your whole life impacted you until where we are now?
My dad told me that I don't need anybody in this life to be the best. He always taught me, he prepared me for the life of cruelty and how life can reject you, but you can be alone and make it alone. So my dad prepared me a lot. He used to give me like the way I'm capable. You understand? So every time I used to do house calls, I'm sorry to say, my dad would always be like, you need to go and read. This is not what you're supposed to do. You need to read.
Marketing is all about storytelling. Dad, when we first started this business, what did you say to me?
I said, yes, we do a podcast
Why?
because I want to tell our story.
Why?
because I know the story build a legacy.
Build a legacy. And that is exactly what we do here at ETS Rubasha Media. We market your story on social media so you could build a legacy for those who come after you, to build your business and your personal brand.
Yeah, follow us on our platform. Go on our website, etsrubashamedia.com.
This is about legacy, and it is about showing up on social media every single day, because if you don't show up, your competition will.
Okay, it gave me the value of a queen. It gave me the value of how great I am, what the marcation of life I should be. So every time it used to lock me, I never used to be an out there girl. Like when people were going for birthday parties and weddings, I was never a social person. I used to be in-house, like stay there. Okay, you don't want to go there. There's a lot going on there. I don't want you for that life. I want you for this life. And then you buy for me movies and buy for me storybooks, bring me teachers. He used to prep me for a more senior life. And he used to give me the courage, like, my daughter, you can do this. Why are you worried? Why did they say this about you? I remember there was a time I was in church and I was wearing a very short dress, not very short as per se, just about the knee. And then there was this and holier than that woman who told me, like, that dress is too short. You're not supposed to wear that in church. And then that day I went to my dad and I was feeling bad and I was low. And my dad told me, no, don't go to that church. You can go to Pastor Wambua. He never confided me in a bad environment. He didn't want that environment for me. He brought me in like a princess. So I would say he's my hero, is my role model, because the way he tackled my life, I want that for my children. Again, my mom, he never used to take anybody. Like, if you do something for me, my mom will face you head on immediately. Like, you don't wait for time, like tomorrow, we'll solve this tomorrow. Right now, you beat my baby right now, we solve this right now. Okay, so my mom was a now person. So my mom taught me not to procrastinate. You think about something and you think it's valid enough, you do it there and then. So that was my mom.
Wow.
So my parents' life and how they brought me up impacted a lot of what I am today.
Wow. Powerful. I think you said just so many things I want to unpack there. Even just with your dad, like, he never put you in a box that, you know, what the woman is supposed to be like, you know, and then that's clearly why I can see why you're there cleaning. He's telling you to go and read.
Yes.
You know, in the church, when a woman can come to you and say that's too short, your dad said, you know what, a lot of fathers would have even scolded their daughter. Oh, that's too short. Da, da, da. Again, because it's the society of men have pigeoned women to be like this. He said, go to another church.
Yeah. My dad did not want me to. Where I was brought up is a village setup. So you see, our village setup is where people have a fixed mentality. You should be like this. Women should do this. Women should fetch water. Women should clean the house. Women should cook. I knew how to cook after my Form 4. I didn't know how to cook, even one meal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, after Form 4 is when?
After high school.
Oh, after high school.
When I was joining campus, that's when I learned how to cook. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't know how to clean. I didn't know how to do house chores, because girls were cultured for that, to be precise. But when I learned it after my high school, I enjoyed it because I wanted to do it. And I did it well. I can cook so well. My husband will tell you.
What can you cook?
Everything. Like chapati, ugali.
Fish?
Yeah.
Good fish?
So well. I should invite you.
Okay.
Come have some fish at my place.
You know, her mom is the best chef when it comes to fish, so I'm looking forward.
You've not tasted my food yet. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so my father taught me to be Mueni, not like girls. Mueni, what are you good at? Your brain is smart. You're smart upstairs. We should nurture that. It didn't force me for chores. You understand? So my dad brought me as a person. This is what she likes to do. This is who she is. And my dad taught me to be, you are who you think you are. Let nobody tell you. Against everybody speaking against it, he said he's going to bring up his daughter the way he wants and the way he feels deem. And he deemed safe. So he did everything the way I wanted it. But he was a very good disciplinarian at the same time. He didn't let me cross boundaries and be undisciplined. He used to punish me, you understand, but in a lovely way. He could even, in Africa, we get spanked. So when my dad used to spank me a lot, he could come back and it was very warm and fatherly. I'm sorry. I had to correct this, I don't like this. And he never used to like me cry. Every time I cry, you see his eyes were red. And it's like he wants to cry with me. Yeah. Because it feels like he's punished me, but it hurts him. But he has to instill some discipline in me. So that was it.
Yeah.
I had a very open-minded and cultured and today dad. Yeah.
Today dad.
Exposed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's quite powerful. And I think, again, I love these messages because we're a family podcast as well. As much as we do our social media marketing, we're a family podcast. And, that relationship between the daughter and the father is such a special bond. And we love to push those messages.
Yes.
So now, and you did touch upon storytelling marketing, which we'll touch on later because marketing is life. Marketing is why we're here. So talk to me about now. You've gone through high school. You went through your bullying phase in high school. Tell us about your life trajectory.
My life trajectory.
So let's say from high school, what were the steps?
I joined campus immediately after high school. I was called by the government to go study because I passed. And I joined campus immediately in May because the campus that I was called was Kenyatta University, had a double intake, May and September. So I joined immediately and I didn't like it because I almost got raped on my first semester in campus. Yeah. So I went home and I was really thin and I looked unhealthy and my dad didn't like it. So I transferred my credit from a public university to a private one. And so I joined Mount Kenya University. Initially, I used to do a clinical med. I wanted to do a clinical officer. I didn't like it anyway. It was like what I was called to do, but not what I like to do. So I changed my course to a business course, that was business management and IT, BBIT, at Mount Kenya University. And I joined a day class for the first semester, but I didn't like that. I'm sorry to say, they used to smoke a lot, like weed and small kids, youth exuberance. I didn't like it. I wasn't cut for that. My dad brought me so mature and my mind was so broad for my age because I was 17 when I joined campus. So I joined an evening class where I used to study with 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds, go to class in the evening, come out, work during the day. So I used to work during the day, get some cash, and then at night I joined class.
And what were you doing for work?
Everything, marketing, sales, everything that I could get my hands on because I wasn't really educated. I didn't have enough knowledge to work at, I didn't have any professional ability because I was just fresh from high school. So I just could do any job that I landed myself on, mostly sales. Yes.
Okay. And what did you learn about sales at that age?
Difficult, hard sales because we used to sell by the road like a hawker. Yeah.
A hawker?
A hawkers.
Oh.
Not hooker, hawkers.
Wow.
Hawk things.
Yeah.
So I used to get like stocks like, they gave you money to buy stocks at a store where they stock like a distributor. Then you buy, put them on a backpack. Then they drop you at an area like Dandora or Mathare or Kangemi. And then you have to sell out that day, go back home. Tomorrow we might go to the same market or they change us again. So today we might tackle Mathare. Tomorrow Dandora, the other day Umoja, the other day Donholm. So you tackle an entire area. Then tomorrow is another area, the other day is another area. So that was the same. You carry the products on your back. So when you deplete, there was a van which used to follow us that is full of stocks. So you can buy back again, keep selling. Yes. That was the sale that I started with. And again, I used to work at a supermarket. You stand by the rows. I used to work for White Dent. So you stand at, I was in Uchumi Koinange, where I would stand by the row where the competing brands were there. So you have to convince the customer to buy White Dents. Make sure they pay for it. If there are giveaways, because some we used to buy and leave it by the counter, send the person who is attending to them, go back to the shelf, bring me Colgate. Because you already convinced them to buy. So they don't have an option. They just have to buy. So they go to the counter, send the person back again to come and return it. So it was difficult sell. I introduced products like William Lawson and Bacardi into the market, Kenyan market. So at night, during the day when I used to do maybe white then, at night, I would do William Lawson, maybe in a club, sell cocktails, sell bottles. Yeah. Again, on other days like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I sell William Lawson. They used to give me like 300 bottles in a weekend, and I would finish by Saturday. Sunday, they will pay me for nothing because I didn't sell on Sunday. I didn't have stocks.
Because you sold out.
Everything.
What made you sell out? What did you notice? What did you notice about sales that because think about it, it's not easy to get someone to remove money from their pocket and give to you for anything. So how did you acquire that? What did you learn? What did you do to make people buy from you?
One, when you were selling, you have to know a person first. You have to be really sharp to understand what kind of a person I'm dealing with. So to be able to do that, you don't start by selling. You talk to them. Get to know them. What kind of person are you dealing with? So you know what approach you're going to use to sell to this person. They're introverts, extroverts. People who do not like to talk to people. They're not even introverts, not extroverts. They're just different characters. So you have to understand your client first before you sell. Like you come to me today, I understand that you're a storyteller because you run a podcast. So when you come in, I greet you. I'll say something about you. I'll compliment you. How you return it, I'll know how to approach it. It's just something I know. Nobody teaches you how to sell. Nobody. You can go to university 5, 7, but selling is an art. It's a gift. So I talk to you, and the first sentence, I compliment you, and how you respond, I know how to sell to you. Yeah.
And I think there's the misconception about selling where it's just trying to get someone or tricking someone to buy from you it's about that service. How can I know you? And I think also passion also plays in a part. Also the way you're passionate about it. You talk about the product and stuff. But I love that advice.
You have to own a product because by the time you're selling something, you have to own it, know it, understand demerits and merits about that product. This product, what are the side effects? Because at the time, you should be able to give 2 or 3. Because when you talk about perfection of a product, it's a lie. So as much as a salesperson is a liar, it's not all salespeople. Like for me, I'll tell you, maybe this will happen. Maybe this. It's not definitely. Maybe it's a bottle of alcohol I'm selling and I will tell you a little bit of hangover. You get it. Because you can't have a 100% product. It has to have 2, 3 side effects. But how FT is the effect of this product? Again, I never used to sell products that have a lot of complaint in the market because I want a personal relationship with my client. And I want tomorrow to have a return client. Someone who's going to come back and say, Mueni, you sold me this and I like it. Because it's the same person that is going to come back tomorrow. Give me another sale. So how I learn after you know the product knowledge, when you're going for product knowledge training, that's when you understand, am I going to work for this project or product or not? You understand? Like for the baby shop, I'll give you, for example, I know I'm a mother. So I'm interacting with products that I know, that I've used. So when I'm selling them, I'm confident. This is something that I know about. So I'll push it from the bottom of my heart. I will put energy. I'll put strength. I'll put a punch. I'll put a story to it because I've used it and I know it. For bespoke suits and outfits, for example, I've worn them. I know what is good and not. I know who tailors, who did this. I hire my tailors myself, my management myself. I source fabric myself. So I have a knowledge of a product that I've used that I would recommend, okay, or someone has used and has recommended, not once, not twice, maybe more than even 100 times. So when I sell my product, I'm sure about it. Yeah. So product knowledge is another aspect of sell. Yeah. You have to be sure of what you're selling. Don't lie. Be truthful. If you're able, use your product before you sell it to understand what is it that I'm selling. It's really important.
It's powerful. Like, everything you said is why we do this. So this is our CEO Mentor series, where, top CEOs come on and give their advice. Even like what you just said there is knowing your product. Like we started doing this. I started being a YouTuber, just documenting my life. I started to think, what about if my children can see my life? Then dad came and said, why don't we start a podcast? So then it grew to a point where now other people need this product. And who are we? We can serve it to them.
Yes.
But one thing you said is knowing your customer. I always say also sales is about I obsess over my customers' problems so bad.
Yes.
Guess what? They obsess to pay me. I obsess over their problems, and that's exactly what you said here. I'm a mother. I know what it's like. I know what mothers go through. I know the pain that mothers go through. You know, and so I'm there to give them what? A service, and they're going to pay you for it.
Something else I would talk about sales is when you are at the height of your success, you should sit back and review. Say, I am at the height of my success. That's when setbacks come. You understand? When you are at the height, because you tend to forget the process.
Complacent. You say complacency.
Yes. So you should be there. Like, this is Bespoke at the top. I am at the top. I want to stay at the top. But how do I stay at the top? That's when you sit back and re-strategize. Seriously. Better than you re-strategize to be at the top. Because at the top, it's easy to come down.
Yeah.
You understand? But from the bottom, it's easy to come up. But to maintain the level of where you are, it's very easy. So like you're saying, when my customers complain, it resonates with me and it hurts me. And I want to come back again and make sure they're satisfied. Because one complaint from a client can make me calm down. Right now, someone who is not a user of my product, I would really like to have them in. But their complaint, that will matter so much to me than the person that is using my product, because that person has experience. And it's feedback that I want from that client, because that feedback is going to make me have a better product next time. Yeah. So when you're at the top, sit back, review, look at the process. How did you get here? How can you stay here? How can you keep soaring higher than where you are? That is what I work with, the principle of my life.
This video is brought to you by Quinn's Luxe Hair. Now, you women, you want an amazing wig. Look at that smile. Look how beautiful you will look as a lovely queen. Look at the drip. Yeah. Link in the description. Go follow her on Instagram and get your wigs today.
And one thing about complacency, you know, I came here on Friday. You guys weren't here. So then I came up, I'm also observant. So I said to one of the lovely ladies who works here, I said, what time do they come in? And then she said, oh, they come in around 6:30 a.m. Or Bespoke comes in. And I said, you see, even at the highest, you're there early in the morning, not complacent. How long did it take? 15 years. I said, you see, everyone, you guys, you see the end product, but 15 years is you don't see. So let's go back to your story. You finished high school. You've worked in the business. How did where we are now, how did this empire that you have been a pivotal part of create?
I met my husband as an innovative man, but I was a salesperson. So we met shortly after. I've learned a lot in sales and marketing and business.
Wait, how'd you meet him?
How'd I meet him? We met at Adverts in Westlands. So I am a creative. He's a creative. So the first time I met him, he was casted to play a role in an advert, and I was a cast too.
Wow. So wait, how old were you at this point?
I was 21.
21. He was?
I think 24.
24. And you were going into adverts?
Yeah.
So you...
19, actually.
What made you want to get into that?
I'm a creative. I'm confident. I wanted to be out there.
Okay.
I didn't want the world to miss a second with Mueni. I was confident that I wanted something different. I was from the village, and Nairobi was a very hard town to navigate. I had a mentality of winning. Failure was not an option for me. So you're from the village, you come to Nairobi, and you have to prove a point that I'm here. Even if I wasn't brought up in Nairobi, it's like you're in a big city and you're from the village, you know? And everybody here is doing well. Businesses, everybody knows how to dress. And you're here, you're trying to catch up with 19 years of your life, 16, 17 years of life in Nairobi. So I had to prove them wrong. Like, I'm here. You have to recognize. You have to see me. You have to know me. So that's how I started to do the adverts and everything at such an early age. Actually, it's 18, 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in Westlands. Boom. You go and do the shoot, and then...
Actually, I came in at around 6. I used to hate Bolo a lot.
Yes.
And that wasn't the first time I met him. It was the second time, actually, but that was the day that we spoke. So the first time I met him, we were at the offices, the agency that was casting us. It's called Leaky. So I met him, and he was doing a podcast not a podcast, he was doing a reel for Miss and Miss World Kenya. So he was one of the participants. So that day I was there for another job for sales. I was coming for an interview. We were doing trust condoms. So I was coming for an interview. So I meet him, and that day I was wearing flat shoes by the road, and I'm changing from flat shoes to high heels because I want to come in and look good. Because that was the qualification. You have to know how to walk in heels and a short dress and everything. So I'm wearing heels by the bush, and then he passes by. He didn't say hi. Trust me. He just passed, and like, I'm a log or I'm a tree and I'm a bag of maize, you know? So he passes by, and that's the day I noticed him, and I just hated him instantly. I was like, this guy, even if you don't know me, say hi. We are going to the same building. I'm just here by the gate. Say hi. He didn't say hi. So I hated him immediately. So after that day, we had an encounter again. After like, I think 3 months, then we were casted for an interview for, what is it called again? The Chase Bank. So we meet at 6 in the morning, and then he comes in, and all the girls were like, oh, Bolo, all the girls. And I'm like, what the heck? Why are these girls even shouting at this guy? What is it about him? He's not even special. He's just a womanizer. And I'm like, okay. I didn't go to him. I didn't say hi. I just kept calm, took my dress and my heels. That day I had 2 suitcases, and girls were like, wow, can you give me some 3 dresses? And I'm like, how do you come for an advert and you don't carry clothes? What clothes are you carrying? I was so organized. I had a suitcase of heels and a suitcase of dresses, and they were asking for dresses from me. I gave 2 girls, and the rest I said, no, you cannot be having my dresses, all of you. So I took my dress, was very beautiful gown, a blue one, and had a 6-inch heel, red. So a contrast. And immediately the person who was casting was a white man. It was like, I need her. I want her.
Oh, he saw you. Like,
yes,
want her.
Immediately. Because that time we were casted, but we were not given roles. So now he was assigning roles. And there was a major role. So he assigned me immediately. It's like, this one must come. So I did my makeup, and I stood there looking pretty. So there was now the pairing, because it was bank and a club scene. Unfortunately, the advert did not come in. The bank was closed before the ad was even out. So there was something to do with the bank and the club. So I don't know what was the relation. I didn't see the advert, so the storyline did not really come to me. So I was paired with a guy called Morris, and Bolo was paired with another girl, and there was a lot of pairs, and there was a dancing scene and a talking scene. So we shoot the whole day until 6 in the evening. I just sat there pretty. I took my lunch. I was just seated, not talking. So Bolo came along. From morning 6 is when Bolo came to me at 6. And then he's asking me, hi, can I have a photo with you? And I'm like, okay, why not? And then he goes ahead and tells me again, can you remove your shoes? I don't want you to look taller than me. I laughed and said, okay, I'll remove my shoes. I removed my shoes. Then we took a photo. I said, it's a selfie. He asked for it. I don't need to be rude. I said, okay. So that day we were put in one group, WhatsApp, and everybody, there were photos which were taken. So they were sharing the photos in the group so that people can choose, this is my photo, this is my photo. So Bolo took the photo that we took together and posted on his Facebook and wrote, just have money and look good, and women will follow you. And I was pissed. So my cousin is the one who told me. I didn't know because I didn't follow him. So my cousin is telling me, you need to look at your Bolo's Facebook, see what he has posted. And I saved his number immediately. And I wanted to say something, tell him off. And I said, it's not worth it. I'm going to give this guy airtime. So I just kept quiet. But I saved his number and I didn't remember. So 1 year down the line, I'm running online marketing hub called Fab House.
You started your own business?
Not really. I was taken by breweries, Kenya breweries. So the head marketer for Westlands, Parklands, and Kilimani, Lavington was called Victor Adada. So Victor was working with me. That time I now graduated from being a salesperson. I was casting sales girl.
Wow, you were casting?
Yes, casting.
Because you knew what makes a good salesperson.
Yes. I used to cast them, train them, dress them, show them. Sometimes they could even not sell, and I would remove my outfit for supervising and wear the sales girl dresses, get to the field, and show them how it's done.
But just real quick there, you know what I love? Because when it comes to a CEO, a leader, a leader's not the one who's telling you orders. If I got to go in the trenches and do it, I'll go do it myself.
That's
you know, in our business, in what we do, everything I know how to do.
Yes.
And if you can't do it, get out of my way, I'll
Yes.
be able to do it. So talk a little bit about that.
When I used to cast the girls, like, you have to give them uniforms, train them how to do it. But you see some people just do a job to get paid and get home. I have targets to meet. I have my own self to say, I did a good job. I'm the kind of person that when I touch something, I have to pat my shoulder at the end of it all and say, I did a good job. If I don't achieve that, it doesn't feel well. I don't feel good in my heart. I want to feel good. I want to applaud myself, clap for myself. Before everybody claps for me, I have to clap for myself because I need to achieve my set goal and their set goal. So I always set a goal higher than what I have been given. So if my boss gave me maybe 200 bottles of liquor to sell and I give myself 300. So if I don't achieve 300, I'll achieve 250 because I have a target higher and I will not work with 200. So now when these girls, I cast them, I expect them to sell for me 230 because I have 250. I have 200 as a target. So I give them my target. I have 230 or 250. And then I give myself 300. You understand? So some girls will just come, look pretty, not sell, and expect you to pay at the end of the day. So every day that I went to work, because I'm not dressed as a sales girl, of course, I will have my own normal clothes. So I would be like, give me the uniform, go home. And then I have a dress, a uniform in my handbag. I'll change immediately and replace.
Wow.
And then I'll keep the others on toes, like this one went. I'm in the field. If I sell 10 bottles better than you, you're going home. Because we have the same clientele. It's not that these people know me. They don't know me. We are salespeople, all of us. We are meeting a new crowd. So I expect all of you to learn. If you feel you have a question, you have a client that you feel is a potential, and you don't feel like you can lock that sale, come to me. Ask me, how can I lock this sale? I want you to be there up front. Tell me, I cannot lock this client, but this looks like a potential. How do I go about it? Or can you help me lock these sales? So I used to be that kind of a person. I don't know how to look like a boss in a sales field. I don't know. I don't know how to look like a manager in a sales field. I know how to go to the field with my girls. A headline a sales a day. Be there to give them a motivation, raise their spirits, and trust me, it's worked marvelous for me. When I don't walk into this office, my husband is always sad, very. It's like, you're not coming today? His spirit goes low. Just come, just show up for 2 hours. Because how you wake up, how you kick your day, determines how you stay the rest of the day, how you speak to clients. So for me, when I come in, I want to motivate my staff. I want to give them stories. I want to make them laugh. When a customer walks in, that is the mood that they find. A smiley person, a happy face. You understand? We don't dwell on problems. You are wrong. I correct you right now. We solve it right now. Go back to the field right now. If I'm keeping it, then we are going back to the field smiling. So sales is also about moods. I want to keep your mood well. I want you to smile. I want you to brighten up. I want you to talk. Words come. Creativity comes when you're happy. You can never be creative when you're sad, but unless you're a musician. But as a salesperson, it's about the happy mood. How the room is tailored. That's what determines the outcome of a sale. So that's what I used to do.
Yeah. And I tell entrepreneurs that all the time for you to know how to do it, because even when you hire people, when I hire people, I know I'm getting money for my buck because I know what it takes to get it done. So you know also in hiring people. And even when I came in here, I saw you in there. I don't know what you guys were talking about, but there was work going on in the trenches, in the field with your team. So I know we got sidetracked because we're business owners and entrepreneurs. So you were in this business, going back to the bolo, Facebook, he made the post. So you're working here. Okay, go.
So Bolo, after that day now, I'm running this page. It's called Fab House. So I'm supposed to gather likes from different people, from Facebook, from WhatsApp. So I get the link and I share it to all my contacts on WhatsApp. Little did I know that Bolo was one of my contacts. So it gets to Bolo. And Bolo did not reply. Apparently, it's Bolo, cool Bolo, Starboy Bolo. Oh, So all this time I was sharing this reel, this link to be precise, I didn't know that he got to Bolo. So 3 months down the line is when Bolo replies. And it's when I realized, oh, so this link got to Bolo too. And it's like, tell me more about Farmhouse. Honey, it's 3 months down the line. Why would you tell me to tell you more about Farmhouse 3 months down the line? I sent this message 3 months. So I tell Bolo, okay, I bring my temper down and I'm like, I'm needy. I'm a business person. I'm a salesperson. I need more followers. Every like counts. Every follow counts. And I start telling Bolo about Farmhouse. Farmhouse is like this and like this. It's a sales platform for what and what. And Bolo says, okay, can't you sponsor your page? Honey, it's 3 months down the line. I'm a business person. I do sales. All those things that you're trying to advise me to do 3 months down the line, I've already put into consideration. I have experts in marketing. I've already told you that so you're advising me. And I'm like, okay. I take it down again and I'm saying, okay, calm down, Mueni. Bolo is just he wants the best for you. So he explains and I'm like, okay, I listen. So all this time Bolo was talking about Farmhouse. He didn't really want to talk about Farmhouse. It's me that he wants to talk about. So the reason first why Bolo replied my message is because I was a very short skirt on my profile.
So, your profile pic?
Yeah. And it's like, I have to hit this. This lady, I have to get this. So I'm like, okay. So after we talk about Farmhouse, we have nothing else to talk about. So he keeps saying, hi, I don't reply. 2 days, hi, I don't reply. 3 days, hi, I don't reply. So on the 4th day, is like, this girl keeps dodging. He don't reply my messages. I have now to call her. So he calls me at around 7 in the evening. And that day we spoke for 7 hours. 7 hours, from 7 to around 1 at night. And I get to know Bolo now in depth. And he tells me about himself. And I'm like, Bolo wears a very big cover. This is not Bolo, the one I see outside. I think I've judged him a lot. Bolo is different. When you speak to Bolo, get to know Bolo, is really different from what you see. Bolo is sweet, calm, cool. He's a village boy who also has to prove the world of Nairobi that I'm Bolo, get to know me. So he has a mask for Nairobi people. And then when you get to know him as a person, that's when you know he removes the mask and then you understand Bolo. And from that day, I started to like Bolo. I'm like, wow. So people can be this. So people can be like me. Like when you look at me, I'm a tough and I'm strong. But when you get to know Mueni, he's a very soft person and someone that you would really is weak, not weak as per se, but just soft, and he has a very soft personality. But now there's the face that you have to wear to be able to conquer the world, and that was exactly what Bolo was like. And now I started giving him time, and we started speaking, and I get to know about him, and he had started a business.
I just got my amazing do-rags from Oz Do-Rag, crafted to protect and preserve your waves, braids and curls, ensuring your hair stays flawless. You can choose between luxurious velvet and smooth silk, both offering exceptional quality and comfort. You can choose a range of colors to suit any style. Enjoy the convenience of fast and free shipping across Australia. Only for a limited time, when you purchase one do-rag, you'll receive 50% off for your second. Visit their website now and take full advantage of this exclusive offer today. What are you waiting for?
And he was living in a very small house, and I was living in a 2-bedroom, and my house was fully furnished.
Wow.
And yeah.
So you were kind of balling at that time?
Kind of. I wasn't balling as per se, but I was well off. Like, I was good.
You had your own place,
Yeah.
own apartment, 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was working like day and night. I used to sleep like for 3 hours, 4 hours.
Working day and night?
Yeah. I used to work I worked at a strip club, but as a salesperson.
Salesperson?
Yeah.
So at the bartender, like where in the strip club?
I was working for Johnny Walker as a brand. So I used to work at a strip club selling Johnny Walker.
Okay, yeah, just going and selling the bottles.
Yeah, the bottles. So it was really paying well, because at a street club, like on a day supermarket, you get 2,000 in a day. But at a strip club at night, you get 5,000.
get people drunk at that time.
Yeah.
You know, that they see a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
And
So
was it safe? It was safe to work, you know?
It was safe because we never used to work at local strip clubs. We used to work at high-end strip clubs like Excess Millionaires. And there was another one in Lavington called Pango. And there was another one, the most famous one. I don't remember the name so well, but I used to work there. So I used to work by the day, and then the strip club used to work from 8 to around 2.
8 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Yes. And then for the supermarket, we used to work from 10 a.m. to around 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's what those 2 jobs you were doing?
Yes.
How long?
I think for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. From 17, around 18 years to around 20, 21. When Bolo met me is when I had graduated, and now I was giving girls to breweries. That's when Bolo met me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's staying in a little small house. What was he doing at the time?
He was a fashion designer.
Okay.
He was a model at first. You know, he realized that he has a niche for fashion. He went back to school, learned about it, and now he's come back to do it as a business. So it's just like 6 months since he started. He was subletting. He didn't have a space of his own. So he had one machine, and he was paying someone to put his machine at this space. And like he used to chip in the rent a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
One tailor, one Bolo, subletting space, and now he meets me.
Okay, so he meets you. You guys have that 7-hour conversation. You're talking more.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, and so I start showing him my place, around my place. Like, show me your house. I show him my house. Where do you work? How much do you earn? We're talking about it. And he's like, wow. And he used to love that. He wanted to have a house like mine, a life like mine. And I was like, it's not hard. You need to just push a little bit. And then that's how I started like Bolo. And I started to encourage him. And I was like, you can do this, you know? You can be a better tailor. There's nothing which is small in this world. Like, you can be a plumber and be the biggest plumber in the world. You can be a tailor and be the biggest tailor in the world. You just need to have a mentality, because all tailors believe that I need a small space and just materials running at the back. That is here in Kenya, not abroad. Here in Kenya, tailors just sit on a machine and they believe that you have few materials here, and there's no growth mentality for them. There's no business aspect for them. So that's what I instilled in Bolo. You can look good, create a brand, place your brand at a senior position where you can be a tailor who employs tailors. Now you become the master tailor. And then we talked for around 3 months, and on the 3rd month, we went for a first date.
Wow, after 3 months?
Yeah.
Why so long?
I didn't want him to be a pretender.
You didn't want him to be?
A pretender. You know, someone can pretend. Yeah, I'm a good person. So I wanted to ascertain that this is a good person. Like, someone can come to you as a salesperson. I'm a salesperson, so I'm always paranoid. I know what sales entails. So someone can sell themselves, even as a date. Sales is everywhere, in marriage, in church. So someone can come, show you what they want you to see, not what they are. So the reason I stayed for 3 months without meeting him is because I wanted him to be real. Because you can't stay in that shell for so long. You can't pretend for so long, for 3 months. So after 3 months, I was like, okay, I need to meet this guy now. I think I'm happy with what I see, what I hear, rather. So we went for a coffee at Java here, Koinange. And we sat down, and the day I came to him, that day, Bolo was so confused that he left his iPhone on the seat. I was like, why? I said, like, you're so beautiful. I didn't know this. I think I was so ignorant at first of you that I didn't realize that you're this beautiful. And we spoke for quite a while, like 3 hours. And I couldn't leave him go, and he couldn't let me go. So that day we went with him to his place. And things went on so fast. And it's been like that until now. Went to his place that night, and that's how we started dating until now.
And can you talk a little bit now about the business? How did you guys be able to grow up from where he was? What were some of the challenges that you guys, what was the adversity that you saw? You know, because from what you're just telling me, like I said at the start of the podcast, every man that you see out there, he has a good woman beside him. So what I could see was that feminine quality to nurture his vision. You know, you give a woman a vision, she's going to help you make it into reality. You give a woman a house, she turns it into a home. You give a woman semen, she turns it into children. So how were you guys able to, that from that day, going to his place to now grow this business?
Bolo was always a procrastinator. Bolo is the person that procrastinates everything, says, I'll do this tomorrow. I'll do this next month. And he forgets and he doesn't do it. And Bolo is the kind of a person that he sold himself short. I could see his ability and I could tap into his ability and I could push him. Because when he was subletting, I made him realize his money, like how much are you making? Why are you subletting? What is your target market? What people do you want to tailor for? And then I told him you need to move to a safer space, a bigger space. He believed me. He listened to me. Then we moved here at View Park Tower, 17th floor. It's a space like this reception in here.
Just there.
Yeah. There was no office, no subdivision. So when we moved, he employed 3 more tailors immediately. And it was like, babe, will I make it to pay this rent? It was 35,000.
35 a month.
A month. So it was like, will I be able to pay this? Can I make it? And I was like, yeah, why not? We'll do this together. So he believed in himself. When I encouraged him, he believed in himself. He took it positive. And within 2 months, he had 7 tailors. Yeah, he started to believe in himself more. He understood his craft. He understood who he is as Bolo. And I kept pushing him. I kept going with him to his clients. I kept telling him, you can cast this. You can bring this on board. Why not do this? Like, he listened to each and every single thing and said, now that you have tailors, you need a table for your clients. Even if you don't have a subdivision as an office, you need a client, like a desk where you can be able to talk to your clients, even if your tailors are listening. And he did exactly that. I told him, you need a bench for your clients where when they come in, even if they can see the tailors, you have your desk, they have a bench. If you have 3 people waiting in line to meet you, can they meet you? Yes. That's how we started. You need a changing room. You need a curtain where people can change here. You don't need to go and start borrowing a space for them to change. So you need to minimize this space, like maximize, like put a changing room, a waiting area, and an office, and still a production area. Yeah. And it worked like magic. Tailors could see the mistakes when they fit the dress. They could see like, wow, this dress is short. This dress is a bit tight. It was like all in one office, like a Chinese open office. A desk is here, a waiting bay, a changing room, and the production house in one room. And Bolo was like, babe, I'm able to conquer this. This is big. I'm growing. And you could see the excitement on his face. So going forward, dating him, I could tell him, let's import this. Let's bring this. We can bring fabric from here. And because he knew the craft and I was the business and the business developer at that point, I didn't understand. I used to have love for fashion. Like, I love fashion. But now there's the aspect in me that is more prominent, which is the business and growth and marketing. That was my pro. So that's what I used to instill in Bolo and his mind. When he used to lose a tailor, he used to bring him down. I'm like, will I get another tailor like this? And I'm like, everybody's replaceable. You understand? Let him go. Don't keep begging him. You understand? Because tailors are people who can really stress you out. Like, you have pressure. It's Christmas. It's a wedding. And they just leave work to tomorrow. You don't have tailors. And you have to keep begging them. Then I taught him that everybody is replaceable. You need to have a replacement for everybody in this life. Because people, the fact that you're in a service industry, new people will come every day. And people will get offers every time. And they'll keep leaving you. You have to get used to the fact that they leave you, you have to be okay. Remove the emotion out of it. Put the business aspect out of it. Get your mind, not your heart, into it. Everybody you lose, it will be easier for you to let go. You will not have your emotion tied to it and feel like, whoa, this one left me. This again has left me. So it will keep weighing you down when you put your heart to it. So get your out of it. Put your mind into even the best Actually, as a matter of fact, this is what I used to tell him. If your business cannot run without this person, you need to sack them. Because that means your business is tied to his life. He's the lifeline of the business. Should it be like that? Everybody in that business should play a part. And you should create a structure in a way that if someone leaves, someone else is groomed to replace. Like if you have a manager, you have an assistant manager, so you can replace. And the supervisor can fill the position of the manager, and you get a new supervisor. So in this company, everybody is groomed to fit in any position. And that's what I planted into Bolo from the beginning. And that's what has been able to put the structures of marketing and sales and management and accounts up to now. Yeah, that's why I can go for 2 days, 3 days. I can even go for a holiday for 2 weeks, and my company runs so well.
Boom.
Yes.
And I think you just broke it down so well. I read a lot of books. I'm CEO books, and they talk a lot about this. Number one, what you said about you should always have. So if you have a position, the person in that position is already training. They're training that person to take their role. Yes. Everyone is irreplaceable. Even me, myself, the business owner, I should be able to walk away. And there's a SOP, there's a system that runs and can even go further.
Sure.
So I think that's powerful business advice. Can I ask you a quick question? Do you think a relationship is stronger when you're both entrepreneurs or you have a business together? Because from what I'm seeing a little bit from your conversation, obviously, you met Bolo, you're in love, but there's also this business talk. You guys are talking about expanding. What are your thoughts on that question?
That always depends with the partners. There are people who don't want to work together. I don't mind spending time with my husband, neither does he. But relationships are different because there are people who want to miss their wives. They want to miss their husbands the whole day and then see them in the evening and get excited. So all depends with what relationship you share. Are you that kind of a person? Like for me, if I don't spend the day with my husband, it feels like forever. Same to him. It will be like, come for 2 hours. The days that I take off days, I want to spend the time with my babies. There's a time because apart from business, you have a family that you have to, moments are passing and they don't come back. Babies are growing every day. And if you don't take place and you don't take part in their growth, you forget a lot and you will miss out on a lot. So we can't be both absent parents. So that days that I get an off and I'm like, today I'm not coming to work. I want to spend the day with my babies, like on midterm or when they close school. The days that I take off and a week. So when I'm not here, really affects my husband a lot. And is always on call. Babe, what can I do on this? This and this person came. It said this and this. For us, we have a symbiotic relationship. Like we depend on each other. For only us. Not for the rest of the team. But for me and Bolo. So you have to know what kind of a partner you have. But it's best if both of you can coexist in one thing. If it's your business, you run together, it's stronger, it's better. You run it better because you don't want to fail, both of you. You want to succeed for both of you. The interest of the business is at heart for both of you. You want the best for your children, for your home, for your growth. So when both energies come together, you become better. You are uplifted. You see the mistakes together. Women can do these things better than men. Men can do these things better than women. So when you're a woman and you're in a business, there's a touch of woman. When you are a man and you're in the business, there's a touch of a man, which is important in that business. Women are better leaders, better employers. Men are better managers. You understand? So when you have both touches in that business, works better. Yes.
And just on that, like there's that roles, like for example, my fiance could tell me, don't trust that person. Or, that little intuition that a woman gives you and then as a man, you go and carry it out.
See, like a man as a single focus, like when a man focuses, it's not a multitask. Multitasking is not good for men, but women are people can multitask a lot. So you can get at this meeting and focus. Like right now we're here, but my mind is in the baby shop. But I'm not absent-minded. I'm thinking of things that I can do in the baby shop, but I'm still here. So women can multitask and create many decisions altogether, different from men. Men are objects of focus. Like they focus on one thing, finish this thing, go to another one. finish, go to another one. Different from women. I can hold 5 things all together, work them together. Yeah. And finish them together. So that makes it more faster. Women are emotional. Women are emotional when it comes to leadership. Emotions lead a business in terms of not the attachment, emotions, like the emotion to deliver. I need it better. I need it perfect. Like the way you put your mind to cooking food for your husband. It has to taste good. His reaction is everything. When he tastes the first bite and you're like, wow, his face lights up. That's exactly what a woman brings to a business. That reaction. They want to do it better so that they can see their reaction on a client. That's a woman. So a woman's touch is always good. But a woman's touch without a man's touch, it's nothing. It's nothing. Because there's too much of emotion that needs to be controlled. You understand? They need someone to tell them, stop, babe, that's enough. Don't work yourself out. You need to rest. You need to think again. Come again tomorrow. You need that. So the balance that comes in when you have a man and a woman is the best. So if you can work together, that is the best thing. Yes.
Powerful, powerful. Hey guys, this is where we come sit down with entrepreneurs and have a coffee, have some water, and we ask you questions, we talk. Right now I'm sitting here in this ballroom looking like I'm in a mafia's corner, right? King of the spot. So yeah, this is what we do. We sit down with entrepreneurs from all around the world and have conversations, questions. And so if you want to have an opportunity to come and be in the hot seat, come and learn and talk and explore ways how you can help and provide value to other people, welcome, and we're going to have a chat. So let's now, on the business, what's the vision? Where do you know, I know we talked a little bit about the baby, what's the vision for, here at Bespoke? What are you guys trying to accomplish next?
I want to do everything apparel. I don't want our clients to come in and ask, do you have sportwear? And I don't.
And you don't have.
You understand? I don't want a person to come in and ask like, can I get this for a baby? And I don't have. So I want to be an all-round apparel company. I want to be able to sell sport, winter. I want to be able to sell office, casual, smart casual, everything that has to do with outfits. I want it covered at Bespoke. Yes, I want Bespoke to be the biggest apparel company in Kenya and beyond. I want to branch out. Like right now, I have a lot of clients in the US, in the UK, in Germany, in Rwanda, in Uganda, in Tanzania. Okay. But I want to branch out in Tanzania as an entity. This is Bespoke Tanzania.
So you mean like stores?
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yes, like Bespoke, all Bespoke. Bespoke baby, Bespoke sportwear, Bespoke casual, Bespoke suits, Bespoke women. I want it to go as a whole, not as one branch. Bespoke as an entity. This one is in Tanzania. It's in the UK. It's in the US. Yes, that's what I want. That's the vision.
That's a powerful vision.
Yeah.
And when we talk about that, again, so a lot of the stuff we do is personal branding. When you think of Nike, what comes to your mind? When you think of all these brands, it's not really about what they do, but how does it make them feel? So can you talk to us a little bit about when we talk about marketing, talk about the branding, how have you been able to brand yourself and also the company? Like, what does personal brand mean to you?
Personal brand.
When you think of personal brand, what does that mean to you?
I would say the placement of business for us as Bespoke, we want to cater for the middle and the high. That is for the Bespoke gents and ladies, because we are about quality, not quantity. We have numbers, I wouldn't lie to you, but our placement was we want to move numbers in quality, not numbers in quantity, because when we started, we didn't focus on, can I produce 200 suits in a day? We focused on, can I do 2 suits that are perfect in a day? You understand? So I want people to be able to wear a bespoke design, and you sit like this in a podcast and everybody who is watching would say, that's bespoke. You understand? Because there's a specific way I want to place it. Like right now, there's no single outfit that comes out of Bespoke without a tag, a Bespoke tag. And I want to there's something that I'm not done yet, but that's what I'm planning to do. I want a Bespoke outfit to have something unique that will be identified on the street, even by a baby. So like where you say, these are Nike shoes, this Converse, whether it has a logo or not.
You know.
You know. So even if someone tries to copy it, the first interaction with the product, they'll say, it's a Bespoke shoe. Then now you start explaining, no, this is not Bespoke, it's another company, you understand? Because there's that about Bespoke that I want to be specific, especially on the sportwear. Yes.
Wow. Okay. And before we get out of here, a little bit on marketing. What have you learned about marketing over the years? Like when I Google you, I see you everywhere, trending on all the blogs. What have you learned about marketing? And for the entrepreneur here who's listening to this, how can they market their business?
One thing about marketing is that you cannot be sane.
Cannot be sane.
And
I like that. Talk about that.
Yeah. There's a sanity bit of it. If you have mental problems and you have a weak heart and mind, marketing is not for you. Marketing is about criticism, both negative and positive. It will hit you hard. Some people will even criticize when they know it's a good product, and they'll still criticize, and they'll come at it hard. Kenyans have a hard way to love, and they don't love like the way you say a love language is sweet. Kenyans don't love like that. Kenyans love ugly. Kenyans love vulgar. Kenyans love bad, like they would insult. But that's how you build your brand here in Kenya. So marketing and sanity can never survive in one sentence. Number 2, consistency. You cannot stay relevant on a brand once you don't have consistency. Don't give up. Have the spirit of insisting. Insist over and over again. Insist. Today you have the same product. Insist on it tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. Insist until it becomes tiresome and a nuisance to people. That's when people now will say, okay, let me just go to this Bespoke. I'm tired of saying Bespoke every day. They'll be like, I want to know, what is this Bespoke that I keep marketing? Why is it that people keep talking about this product? So you need to be a nuisance in people's timelines. And when people get to Facebook, they need to see Bespoke and be like, what? Why Bespoke everywhere? 90% will come. 10% will ignore. But majority will come. So you need to be a nuisance. Insist over and over and over again. Number 3, be positive for any feedback. It's important. You cannot say, this person is just jealous. This comment is just saying this because they don't like Bespoke. Everything, just have a third eye in business. Have a third eye. Like, learn to know, like discern. You need to be able to take in criticism. See, there's always a percentage of truth and lie in everything that is said. Could be a lie, but there could be a percentage of truth that you don't realize because you're not open-minded. You locked your mind. So as a business person, you need to open your mind to possibilities, to negativities, to understand. Think, criticize on your own. Bring a team, another mind. What do you think about this? Do you think what this person is saying is true? That is the only way you will understand and you'll be able to perfect your craft. Yes.
Powerful. And I like the second one, especially consistency. When I'm here, I vow to show up every single day. I always think, I say, my enemies, I would hate to be my enemy. I would hate because you're going to see me every single day, wherever you look.
Yes.
And that's the foundation of marketing.
Yes.
That's, again, personal branding. When you think of this suits, guess who comes to my mind? Bespoke. And I think that's so powerful. So before we leave, we have what we call quick fire questions.
Okay.
So I'll ask you a couple questions and you can only answer it with one word. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
What does the word CEO mean to you? One word.
Leader.
What does the word love mean to you?
Commitment.
What does the word marketing mean to you?
Sacrifice.
Expand on that a little bit. What do you mean?
Marketing is about sacrifice. You have to put yourself out there without you relentlessly. You understand? Marketing is an art of, you have to bathe in it, wake up in it, eat with it. Everything around you is marketing. When I walk and I hear you speak today, if I interact with you for 3 days, I will take 3 words from you that are going to help me in my marketing. In every conversation we have with you, I will pick a word. You learn something new in marketing. When you eat like this, every scoop that you take is marketing. You just need to know, how do I put this? Again, marketing is about doing it how you don't like it. It's not about what you like. It's not about how you want it done. You have to sacrifice your comfort zone and come up front to face it how it's supposed to be done. That is marketing. Marketing, again, is about creating a scenario or something out of something that is not there. Mm-hmm. So you have to create, like, this is a camera. You have to create a story that is not around this camera. So you have to sacrifice the information that you have about this camera and bring in something new that relates to this camera and is true about this camera. So marketing is about sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
Yes.
I love that. What does being a mother mean to you? One word.
Life.
What does the word fashion mean to you?
Every day.
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, by the way, what does Mueni mean? The
visitor.
Visitor.
Mm-hmm.
Can you expand on that?
Mueni is a Kamba name, means visitor. Mm-hmm. Mueni, someone new. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Someone new, like the way you came into me, you're new, you're a visitor to me. Mm-hmm. So that's what Mueni means. Mm-hmm. Visitor, someone new.
Yeah, perfect. And then just to end off, can you talk to us a little bit about the wedding that, obviously that was all out there. I watched it. I was like, wow, if you're going to do something, you do it with big and you do it elegant. And I loved it. Again, powerful marketing. Can you talk to us a little bit how that feeling was for you?
Markets for my wedding, I've stayed 9 years to have my wedding.
9 years?
9 years.
Why, by the way?
When I met my husband, he said that he will never propose until I have 2 babies.
Really?
Yeah. That's what he said. I wanted to be in his life. I loved my man. And I was like, I'm capable of bringing up my kids. So I'll take the risk and father my children with this guy. Like, nurture my children with this guy. Like, conceive with this guy. So I came into this wholeheartedly with the risks and everything, and started a family with him. I just put all my eggs on one basket and said, let me give it a try. And I wanted babies. I really love babies. So it took me 9 years to to make this man understand that I need a wedding. Again, for my husband, he doesn't like to do things small. So during our struggling phase, he didn't want to give me just a wedding. He wanted to give me a wedding that I will remember, that the world is going to talk about, that everybody will compare. Like right now, if you look at the blogs for last year and this year, there will be like 5 biggest weddings in Kenya. Our wedding is always on that blog. Every time you look at a blog, either a small blog, a big blog, they always talk about our wedding. Every client who walks here, every wedding that is happening in Kenya, they always compare with our wedding. So my husband wanted that for me. A wedding that will live with me for the rest of my life. Yeah.
And you got it.
I got it.
You got it.
Trust me.
You talked a little bit about a struggling phase. Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
When we had all our finances focused onto business and we did not have extra finances to put into the wedding that we wanted.
So you were investing all the money into the business?
Yes.
And then you didn't have enough to put it?
Yeah, to the wedding. Because if we would have done a wedding, we would have done it a long time ago, but a small one. Yeah. Something that just say, officiate and say we are married. Yeah. But what does that mean for our business? We wanted to prep ourselves financially in a way that we do a wedding and we don't struggle. We're still here. It's 1 year down the line. And we did a wedding. We did not struggle financially. We are here running a successful business, and our wedding gave us a milestone in business. You understand? It gave us a marketing, a free leisure marketing.
Could have even brought more business in.
It brought more business in. It made us. We were known worldwide, but the crowd is bigger now. The walk-ins, the inquiries, the people from a diaspora, to be specific, know us more. People will land from the airport direct to Bespoke. Before they even say hi to their family, they come to Bespoke. That's how big that wedding did to us.
Yeah. I mean, you look how I got here. Like, to be honest, I didn't know much because I'm not a person. I'm not really on social media like that. I'm really kind of. But my mom told me about you. She's been following you. That's how she came from Australia. She's coming here. And how do you think we're doing this interview?
That's how it happened. So it gave us. It was at the right time. That wedding, I wouldn't say I would regret doing it at that after 9 years. It was at the right time. I think God always has his purpose for things to happen the way they do. So it was at the right time. He gave us everything that we have ever wanted. For me, I'm a marketer and a salesperson, but I was always working at the background, hiring salespeople, training them, prepping them for the field, teaching them what to do, prepping my husband. But now when the opportunity came for me now to show the world who I am, I grabbed it after my wedding because I had audience. Now, I served my audience with what I'm capable of and what Bespoke is all about. So through me, they can be able to learn Bespoke and Bespoke Baby and the company as a whole.
And I think it's so cool how when you're living in your purpose, something like a wedding, which could be an expense, brings in business.
Yes.
Right? Like, and how I love how you guys focus. Okay, what are the priorities? Do we want to spend all this money on wedding right now? Or do we want to keep investing in the business? And then when the time is right, we now have the wedding. And also, because of that wedding, do you guys have a lot of people coming in with wedding inquiries?
A lot.
A lot.
We have a lot of weddings. Like April alone, we had like 12 weddings. And there's none of them that had less than 7 bridesmaids and groomsmen. Wow. So that was a good number for 1 month. Yeah. Like 12 weddings, and we have our normal walk-in clients. August, we already booked, we're very booked in August. We are still taking orders because it's still early, but our August is already filling up. Yeah, we have a lot of weddings for August and December. Yeah, people are already coming in. More people are coming. We are sponsoring our page again. So the inquiries and everything, when people now hear Bespoke, it's not something new to them. We're just giving them more knowledge on what Bespoke is all about. So we're not starting from scratch. We're starting from somewhere. The wedding put us somewhere where we can start. Yes.
And to be honest, also when I was looking at a lot of your stuff, I was like, I think it would be cool also to show people behind the scenes of, you get a big wedding, a star comes in, and then on YouTube, how can we see the behind the scenes process? And I think and that's why I wanted to do this interview, because how can we get people tuned in? This is television now. I tell people all the time, the gatekeepers are gone. We own television, we own media. And so even you're talking about Bolo Media department, right? TV shows coming out and you guys are showing. So also I see that powerful vision. Last question, last question. What will be Mueni's legacy? When you're all gone, when you're no longer on this earth, what will your children remember? What will your grandchildren remember? What will other people out there, what will Mueni Bespoke's legacy be?
Marketing. It'll be the biggest marketer of all time. That's the legacy that I want to leave.
We can end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching in another episode on the Rubasha Family Podcast. And if you're diaspora, wherever you are, when you want to come look good, you already know where to come to. Link in the description, you'll be able to see their website, number, everything, so you can come straight here to these wonderful headquarters. Thank you so much.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're going to love that one.